Hello and welcome to what I guarantee will be the shortest video in this playlist, and that is on the lifters. So this. I just want to say right off the bat, nothing special went into producing these. If you already know how to make a lifter, move on. These are exactly the same as the lifters in Don't Mess, my only other tutorial series, but with less effects on them basically. So, literally all it is just white noise and a low pass. Okay, apparently it's a bit more than that, but why the... Oh, hello. I don't remember doing this. Okay, well, it seems it's not a low pass at all, it's actually a band pass. Which, I suppose, makes quite a decent amount of sense, because when you use a low pass, kind of the problem is that when the lifters are at their loudest, they just destroy your ears because there's so much high frequency in there. And so I suppose having a band pass kind of eliminates that problem rather than using a low pass. Very clever. Well done, me of the past. After that there's a fruity send, because if I get rid of that... So it's this envelope here that just makes it fade in, that's all it does. So if I get rid of that... Like, right at the start there's a really loud lifter, like in your face straight away, which I don't really like, so I turn on a fruity send and automate the volume, not the dry. No, I automate the dry, to make it fade in. Why do you use fruity send and not just a automation clip on this? Well, I will tell you why, and that is because if I automate it here, then that's sort of before all the effects, so it will affect the way it sounds. Although probably, looking at the effects I've got on it, none of these will probably be affected by the input volume very much, but generally it's not a very good idea to automate this, or even really change it very much. And automating this, if I automate this in loads of places, the problem is, what if I want to change the volume later? Now I've got to go back and change all of my automation clips. It's much better to have a fruity send where you can automate from 0 to 100, set it and forget it, and then just whenever you want to change the volume overall of the track later, you can change this without having to worry about all your automation clips screwing everything up. So that's why a fruity send. After which is a delay, which is pretty self-explanatory. With fruity delay, if you set it to ping pong mode and then pan either hard left or right, it like bounces from ear to ear, which makes things sort of wider. Because I think that's important to have sort of really sort of major, main, important sounds like the leads and so on, like panned dead in the middle, unless they're part of a layer, in which case you might want to pan the different elements of the lead left and right and so on. But so really important melodic stuff definitely in the middle, and effect stuff should have lots of, well, it doesn't necessarily have to, but could have lots of like stereo crap going on, e.g. this delay here, which bounces it left and right so that you can hear it over the other stuff more. That's basically the reasoning behind that. It helps me hear it more easily. Maybe the difference isn't so massive, but whatever. After which is a reverb, although I'm not entirely sure why would I put a reverb on a lifter. What I've done is turn the dry off completely, which I suppose is a relatively decent way of making a really hard, harsh sound with lots of high frequencies that make you want to kill yourself, a lot sort of softer and gentler and less, less of a RIP headphone user's ear rape situation. So I suppose I'll show you an example. If you take like a saw wave or something, let's do that. Ow! And then run it through an ambience, but just with the dry off, or fruity reverb, whatever. That made it a lot worse. Okay, that doesn't sound much like what I expected, but whatever. Just a reverb with only wet usually is quite a good idea to sort of soften things and sort of blur them, I suppose. What else? Number 10. Yeah, this was an EQ I added pretty much right at the end, like after I finished everything and I was going through everything thinking, what should I change? I added this, because like I said before, when you have a lifter, the problem you get is that there's so many high frequencies in white noise that your ears just explode when the lifter's at its loudest. It's too quiet at its quietest and too loud at its loudest. It's like a brick wall when the one suddenly turns on. And so all I did was go EQ2, low pass, and change nothing, and that was it. So just to get rid of the very highest frequencies, so your ears will thank you. Finally, a fruity send, which seems to have the mix level at 0. I do not know why that would be. I suspect, I know actually, I think here, because it's got a delay and a reverb on it, it takes forever to shut the hell up, which ruins parts like this. I used it here to, when it's it stops instantly, because if I didn't have this, there'd be loads of really loud lifter in the background, which ruins everything. And it's not as good. But when you do this, the snare hits and it's very suddenly absolutely silent, which is what I wanted. Which is better. And you also see the incredibly long automation clips at the end, which at the time I put them there I couldn't remember what they did, but I knew they were important, so I just copied and pasted them. But now I remember what they are. Which, when you don't have these, gives you lots of annoying crap at the end, which I wanted to get rid of. Another tiny FL Studio trick is, and I realise I said this was going to be the shortest video and it's actually turned out quite long, but never mind, is if you double right click and hold, your cursor turns into a mute and you can like mouse over stuff and mute it. That is just fantastic. I love that. Congratulations. Anyway, so that's everything there is to know about this particular lifter. Yeah, see you in future.